Hello.
Hello. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Are you going to start today?
Sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, record.
All right. Ready? I feel like this isn't very high. Why is it not as high as normal? Let me get a, hold on.
Oh, that's a cool looking thing.
What?
Me rubbing my hands together looks cool on the sound wave.
Oh, really?
It's a visual I haven't seen.
Ooh. All right. What have I done? Oh, okay. No. There, that's better. Sorry, my face was getting cut off. All right, let's try again. 1, a 2, a 3. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hey. This YouTube is my husband. Say hi.
Hey, you can't monopolize all the pillows.
You need a pillow?
Just one.
Just one pillow? There, that one.
Thank you so much, dear.
You're very welcome, hon. I love you. You don't sound like a jerk.
Anyway.
You don't sound like a jerk to my reality check. I'm just kidding.
Speaking of. Okay.
All right. So, hold on. What?
Actually, you know what? I've got a good start.
Okay. Then go for it.
You'll probably start. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to the In Raw Life. We are so excited that you're here today because we're talking about something that we are super passionate about and we really believe in. And we know that when you believe in it too, your life will just like shoo, skyrocket. And it's interesting because some of the stuff I was listening to this morning to kind of help me get in the zone for it made me realize that Sierra and I have something in common with Warren Buffett.
Do you care to share? Not
well,
yet.
before we get to that,
oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
What's your reality? My reality is that I want to know what the heck Jess is
talking about. Yeah. No, my reality is that my husband is retired for the month. So we are home together all the time. And now I finally understand, like throughout all of 2020, he like had to go into work. He was essential because he worked on cop cars. I said he worked. I didn't know which one to say. He worked on cop cars. And so he was essential. So he'd always go in and we were pretty, it was pretty normal as far as like my daily routine with the boys, and then he comes home and make dinner and whatever. But now he's home all the time, and I think we're spending too much time together, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
We're not meant to spend 24/7 with anyone but ourselves, I don't think. As much sometimes as I am like a super relationship person and want to be with my people all the time, even I can't do that.
It's hard. It's definitely hard. Gray doesn't like it either. He's like, Mom, I don't want to be on your back right now. Yeah, no, shh. Please, sorry. Gray. Give into the here, take this, play with this. Sorry. Here you go, take it, have fun. The one good thing out of it, though, I would say, hold on. Terrible. The one good thing out of it, I would have to say, is that he used to think that he wanted to be home, and now he realizes, like, no, he actually really values work, which is something that I had to learn too back when I was with the kids so much and I was afraid to go back to work. And then I realized how much work is fueling. And I remember somebody telling me, we were created to work. We have a desire in us to work. Work sounds daunting and like labor, but it's not. It's if you're in the right place doing the right thing, it's fulfilling. So I think that's something that I learned within the past couple of years. And I think he's learning it now, that his last job wasn't fulfilling, but being at home isn't going to satisfy that either. So I think the next phase of his life will be very enriching and rewarding. And until then, we will continue to see each other day and night. But that's me. What's your reality?
My reality is dealing with emotions and actual things that I have to do for a trip that I have to take this weekend, on top of, like, of course, a million things. Like, my hours went up this year, which is great. Like, I wanted to work more hours, and then we're working so much on our stuff. But pairing that with some extra tasks that I need to take just so we can go take this trip, 9-10 hour trip this weekend there each way. And the trip includes seeing my grandmother, who is really not doing well, and the emotions that go with that. And it's rough.
I'm sorry.
Like, I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't deal well with death, obviously. And it's just, yeah, it's weird. I mean, this is only the third person who I was super close to. And the other two, like, the last time I saw them, I didn't know it was the last time. And this time it's like it could be. And that's really weird. And then all of that, plus poor Emmeline is, 8, almost 9 years old. And she feels like she's had all these huge losses in her life, which she has. And she just doesn't want to lose anyone else. And like how to help her through it either.
Yeah. Is she close with your nanny?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she loves her, and they, they don't talk all the time, but like they're close relationship. I mean, Emily even had a close relationship and considered it close with my nanny's husband, who passed last August. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What?
Planes take so long.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if they actually show up on the microphone or not.
I know, neither do I. Figure that. Yeah, so dealing with all of that on top of just like a lot of things on my plate, which I'm very good at handling, but it's still a lot to handle.
Yeah, no, it definitely is a lot. I'm sorry. Well, let us transition from raw life. Well, I guess I'll just, instead of jumping right into it, I will say that the reason that we do these reality checks is to show you that sometimes life isn't perfect. What do you want?
Never is life perfect.
To show you. Gray. I don't know what to tell you, bud. This is what we got. He's over it. He's getting too big for a morning nap. Okay. Jay's just watching TV. Hold on. Are you just hanging out for this hour? Do you mind?
So Sierra gets Gray off.
He's not taking morning naps anymore. Oh.
Okay. That's okay. And then you realize that and you figure out the new thing.
Yep. Super fun. Anyway, the reason we do reality checks is because we want to show you that even though life has its moments of difficulty, you can still live it to the fullest and enjoy it and persevere through the difficult times. And that doesn't, like, persevere, I literally mean persevere. I don't mean push down, ignore, hide the emotions. It means to go through those emotions, to acknowledge them when they're there, to deal with them as they come, and then to let them go when the time is right. So that's part of why we share with you our reality, to show you that we still love our lives to the fullest. We haven't always. We've been in moments of our life where it's been rough and we didn't know how to get through, but we've equipped ourselves with some tools to mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually persevere through the difficult moments. And so that's kind of what this podcast is about. It's encouraging you to do the same.
That's kind of what today's episode about. So the thing that we have in common with Warren Buffett, or at least I think I'll say we do, is that he has been quoted to say, because he's he's like the fourth wealthiest person in the world, right? Something like that. And he's like major investor and yada yada. And he says that the most important thing to invest in is yourself.
Oh, we do have that in common with Warren Buffett.
Don't we?
That's awesome.
So that is what today's episode is about, is why we should be investing in ourselves and how we can be investing in ourselves. And invest can bring up, money. And yes, that's part of the equation, but it's not even half the equation.
Mm-mm. No.
So the reason why we find it so important to invest in ourselves is because we are our biggest asset. How we are doing mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, monetarily is what affects our life. And when I was listening to some of the stuff and listening to him talk this morning on different interviews, he was saying he had given he's given a speech to students before, high school students, about, so if you left here today or you left high school and I said, I'm going to give you a car, like the exact car that you want, all like the bells and whistles, for free, nothing attached to it, but that's the only car you're going to have for the rest of your life. You would take care of that car so well and so meticulously because, one, you love it, and two, it's the only one. And he's like, so that's not going to happen. You're not only going to have one car in your life, but there's only one us. There's only one of our mind, and there's only one of our body and our heart and what we can do. So we better invest in it and take care of it and fuel it and grow it, or else what are we doing with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so true. So part of what I was just explaining, how like Jessica and I have invested in ourselves in ways that help us to persevere instead of suffer through, I think would be the opposite of the way we handle emotions now. So just to go back to, I don't know, let's go to Sierra circa 2018. Oh, that's a good one. I was in a super dark place. I had been suffering from depression for 3 years, and I assumed that I had already almost got out of it, but then didn't. So maybe it could stick for life. Because when I first got it, I felt like I was going to get through it. But now in 2018, I'm like, I'm 3 years deep. Is it even possible? I don't know. Excuse me. So in 2019, I started researching depression heavily. Depression, anxiety, postpartum anxiety, which is a real thing, postpartum depression. I started learning about it and trying to figure out ways to pull myself out of it. And from that, like, deep research, I discovered that your mind is so powerful that it alone can equip you with what you need to overcome mental illness. I'm not a doctor. I can't say that for a fact, but I can say that from my own experience and from just what I've been learning about my mind. And so the ways that I personally have done that is a huge part of it is meditation, because your mind it's kind of like a roller coaster. If you think about it, like if you take that roller coaster all the way up to the top, as soon as you let it go, it doesn't stop. It's mere physics that lets it keep going. But I feel like if you're in a state of depression and you just let your mind go, then it's going to be that roller coaster. It's going to go upside down as many times as it wants. It's going to spin around, and you're going to get sick, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you think about physics and a roller coaster, there's ways that you can stop a roller coaster. You can add brakes. You can put things on the track to slow it down. There's different ways that you can stop a roller coaster from simply following gravity and science. And not that we can defy science, but I guess it doesn't defy science because brakes are still science. Anyway, I didn't expect to say this metaphor, so work with me as I figure it out. But anyway, so I believe that things such as meditation, such as going to therapy, such as just pausing your
reading a book, listening to the right podcast, or listening to many different views, or just learning in general.
Yeah. The more you can gain control of your mind, the less it will spiral out of control or free fall. And that's personally what I did. So when I learned that, where are you? Are you in here? Nope. Sorry. Got a cat. What? I don't know where he's at. He's knocking on the door, but he's not here at the same time. Oh, come on. Get in here. Sorry. Don't look at me. Okay. Cat's in. Doors are closed. Back. But anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I believe that there are tools that we can equip ourselves with to gain control over our emotions, over our mind, and not in like a creepy brainwash way, but in a way that empowers us to be in charge of our mind instead of letting our mind be in charge of us.
Well, so I mean, brainwash has a terrible, like connotation to it, but then you can flip that on its head, and like you can brainwash yourself into a better place. Like by doing all these things and equipping yourself with all the various tools and whatever works for you, you're changing like the pathways in your brain to think a different way, to think about things in a different way, to learn more, to like be able to tell other people about it so that you are growing, and then you can possibly help other people.
Maybe instead of brainwash, that's like brain clean. Like you clean your brain. So it's still there. You know it's there. You're not.
Well, you're growing it. You're investing in it, and you're growing it.
Another
another thing I listened to this morning, and I really like what she said because it kind of helped put into words how I was feeling and what I wanted to talk about. It was like a TED Talk, and I think she's from Pakistan, and she's about 30, and she talked about how, she was always kind of an entrepreneur, even when she was little. And she, especially when she got older, like she tried all sorts of different businesses. Like when photography was really popular, she bought a really nice camera, and she got into like event photography. When event planning was popular, she and a friend like tried to make an event planning company, and all these different things. And how some things sometimes did okay, and then some things failed. And, people were like, oh my goodness, like she's just at it again. And I feel like, a lot of people with MLMs can do that too. But what she said, because now she's working for some sort of organization that she's like a shareholder in or part owner. And they help, especially in that part of the world, they help entrepreneurs to do well. Like they help people who like have really good parts and companies to grow themselves. And she was saying how all those little tiny things along the way, that it was actually her investing in herself. Because she was like, hey, let me try this, let me try that. And then all those things have added up to who she is now and what she's doing now. Like it made me
completely relate to that.
And it made me think back to, like doing doTERRA, and that definitely like grew me in many different areas, including like being like opening up to going to trainings and paying for trainings sometimes, reading more, personal development, all that kind of stuff, which has like grown me exponentially. But even before that, I had done one other like small MLM, and that opened me up to the possibility of doing doTERRA. Before that, I, like going to school for theater, which obviously I didn't necessarily do anything with that specific degree, but being in theater my whole life opened me up to be able to speak in front of people and be okay with it. So
Yeah.
like every single little thing makes us who we are, and we get to choose what those pieces are that are making us who we are. So we can
Yeah.
either invest wisely and read the right things, vary what we read, vary who we talk to, so we have like a nice, beautiful, well-rounded mind and thoughts and opinions. Or we can let it be on autopilot or let it spiral downwards. And like if we're not doing anything with it, it's not growing. And sometimes if we're listening to things that aren't helping us grow, then it can do that spiral down.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting too, how you talked about listening to different people, because I think even sometimes we can get stuck in going to the same person all the time for hope. And nothing against that person, but sometimes their message is repetitive, like we speak from our own experience and our own heart and in a certain way. So I think it is very valuable to, like even sometimes like what comes to mind right now is a pastor at a church. A lot of times if it's the same pastor over and over and over again, it's almost like you've heard the same message a bunch. But when they get a guest pastor in, you're like, oh, wow. Or if you check out a new pastor on YouTube or something, it gives a different perspective about the same topic. And I think that can be the same about podcasts, books, all sorts of ways that you can learn and invest in yourself from different perspectives to grow your cultural experience in that perspective.
Yeah. And then if you say for a pastor, for example, if your pastor that you go to is not also trying on, reading new books, listening to new opinions all the time, they're not growing either. But if they are growing, then that makes it an even richer experience for you, because they can come to you and be like, hey, I just learned this thing and now I can talk to you about it. Or, hey, this thing actually changed my opinion on this. And even us here on this podcast, we listen and we grow and we read, and that helps give us new perspectives sometimes. Sometimes we even say, hey, this thing I said before, I actually have changed my view on that because I've learned more or better.
That makes me think of when couples have been married forever and they're like, oh, I don't know what to talk to him about anymore. I will say, no matter how much time Jay and I spend together, we always have something new to talk about because we both are constantly learning new things in different ways. So
I feel like that's how you and I have such good conversations, because we're both constantly growing and learning.
Yep.
I mean, you and I literally, I don't think we can ever be together.
No, it's hard.
We've
gone on many road trips.
When we actually see each other, we stay up till 3 a.m. because we just can't stop.
I know. Oh, man. So with all of that being said, we wanted to talk to you about our new journey experience that we've created to help you invest in yourself in multiple different ways. So like Jessica said, financially is not the only way you can invest in yourself. You can invest in your mind, you can invest in your time, you can invest in your
you pay for investment in different ways. Sometimes it's paying with your time, or multiple different ways. Sometimes it's with time, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's you're investing your emotions and things. Sometimes it's all three at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Not only is it you're investing in those things, but sometimes you're using those things as the investment, paying for it.
That definitely makes sense. I feel you. So what we have, you've heard us talk about it already, is life and balance. And we've created this. We've invested a lot of our time, emotions, our passion. And it's funny hearing Jessica talk about the entrepreneur in Pakistan. I feel like her. I feel like all these other things have set both of us up on the path to getting here. And the culmination of both of our experiences and then combining our strengths has created this product, service, journey, whatever you want to call it, that is so powerful because we both are so passionate about the different facets of it and then combining it together. Oh my gosh, I've never felt so proud of something I've created in my life. And I've also never benefited from my own creation so much
Uh-huh.
in my
Yeah,
life.
I turn to it all the time to use for myself, but I also am growing myself even more and even more every single day so that I can show up for the people who take this journey with us, so that I can grow it, so I have more knowledge, so I can speak about it more, so I can make it even better each time.
So what it is, if you haven't heard already, is it is a way to organize your schedule in a way that gives you at least 30 extra minutes a day, but that's very small. When Jessica did this, like Jessica's in charge of the scheduling, and when she did it for me, she gave me 60 minutes. So I mean, give her a chance and you don't know what's possible. She finds time you didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
Um,
for myself, I think I found at least an hour and a half to 2 hours in my
it's
day.
incredible. And it's amazing because when you find this extra time, it's just, I mean, nothing changes. Your to-do list doesn't change. It's just that the way that Jessica schedules your life, it gives you this time at the end of the day to get stuff that you actually want to do, like spending time with your family or going and
With
doing some
yourself.
self-care activity, like going for a walk, getting your nails done, whatever the case may be, that is something that fuels you. And you can do it guilt-free because you know all of the other stuff was taken care of previously in the day. So it's also like you also schedule it so where the enriching time is at the end. So like you don't have to feel guilty because everything's done. It's
Well,
crazy.
it depends on the person's schedule, but yeah, a lot of traditionally people's schedules, that's how it works out. So that's like kind of at the end of the day, but it depends on the
Yeah.
different person.
But then at the same token, there's stuff to invest in your mind and your emotions at the beginning of the day. So it really sets you up to be emotionally, mentally, and physically, if you want to have a workout in there, prepared for the rest of your day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the morning routine part that Sierra set up is it's so easy once you implement it, and Sierra makes it so that it's all right there for you and it can be done in 15 minutes or less to
I
set
think
your
it's like,
mind
yeah, even less.
to set your mind and your emotions up for the day, which one sets you in the right mood, sets your mindset in the right place, and it gives you some energy. Like it literally actually gives you energy to get up and get going. And you don't have the decision fatigue to decide what to do in your day because we have set up things exactly how you can do it. So that way that you're getting everything done. You don't have to have it on your mind because it's already written out for you. And you know that there's some point in your day where you have you time. If you need family time, you have family time. Like there's quality time to be fully present in everything that you do, but especially with you and your loved
Yeah. And Jessica mentioned how the, sorry, let me start over. Um, I I have a pain in my foot.
one. I was going to
So I'm
say, are you doing lunges?
no, I can't stand on my left foot because it really
Mm.
hurts. So um so I kind of lost my balance there. I lost my balance while talking about life and balance. Um so Jessica mentioned having more energy throughout the day, and that is, like she said, one, you're getting rid of decision fatigue, which is a real thing that you just get more tired with every decision you have to make.
Mm.
Like, what am I going to make for dinner? When am I going to work out? What am I going to get? What am I going to wear today? All of those are things that weigh your mind down and make you sleepy. So by having a schedule, you get rid of that. But then also by starting your morning with gratitude and a reflective meditation. I mean, there's science behind how gratitude gives you energy. We've talked about that. But then there's also something about the uh, there's there's science behind how breathing well can give you energy. And in the meditations, there's breath work, there's it helps you to focus your mind in one direction. So that way your mind isn't all over the place, making it more exhausted right away. So that by starting your morning with gratitude, there's a daily affirmation and a guided meditation so that you don't have to try to figure out meditating on your own. You just push play and let your mind do the work. You are equipping yourself for success throughout the day because the guided meditation, it helps you, like I said, be focused, which is good for work and such, but it also helps your emotions to feel strong and secure because life throws a lot of stuff at you and it's normal to have an emotional reaction to that. And I feel like the guided meditations really help you embrace that emotion
Mm-hmm.
in a way that lets the emotion be more fleeting. You know,
Yeah,
like we're not supposed to hang on to emotions forever. And I feel like the guided meditation lets you be fluid with the way emotions are supposed to affect your whole life.
I feel like it helps you give it the space that it needs and the ability to like breathe through it, to like go back to your gratitude list and be grateful for whatever it is doing in your life. And then once it's done taking up the space it's supposed to, you let it leave. I feel like that,
Yeah.
especially when I went through like the full 30 days myself, that's definitely what it did.
And then on top of that, we also have
There's more.
wait, there's more. We also have you accountable. So if this sounds like a lot or sounds like maybe I wouldn't really stick with that, we actually jump on the phone with you twice throughout the journey. We have a Facebook group of other people going through the journey that can help keep you accountable. We have created a custom day planner that makes sense to the way that your brain thinks so that you can keep yourself accountable. And it's an investment in you in all sorts of ways. Like by investing in taking the journey, it's like you're making a commitment to yourself that time matters and that it's
And your
good
time
to
matters.
prioritize your life in a way that fuels you and like enriches the people around you. And I think that's really what it's about. It's life in balance is to balance your life in a way that fuels you and enriches the people around you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the community that we're growing through Life in Balance, and then our Facebook community, which is Empowered Unstoppable Women. It's all
Yes, if
about
you're an empowered, unstoppable woman, get there.
it's all about supporting each other so that we can fulfill our individual potentials of whatever amazing thing we are meant to do in this world, whatever our passion is, whatever we're meant to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's our goal. I mean, that's why we have this podcast is to encourage one another, not me and Jessica only. Like we want to encourage you and we feel encouraged by you to make big changes in this world in little ways. Um it's so funny. This morning when I was doing my own meditation, part of my everyday morning meditation is that I will read at least one Bible verse. And the Bible verse today was, "He who can be entrusted with very little can be entrusted with very much." And I feel like I also saw it yesterday, so I feel like it's just like been really laying on my heart. Because I think that we often think that we want to change the whole world, but like, how could we possibly do that by being, just a stay-at-home mom in Largo, Florida? That's what am I supposed to do? But there's so much more than that because you, as a stay-at-home mom, we've talked about this before, you're making an impact on your kids that you don't even know what will happen. You don't know how that's going to impact your family. You don't know how that's going to impact their careers and the people they could influence. Or maybe like your kids are grown and gone and you're still just, you don't feel like it's big enough, whatever you're doing. But it makes me so sad whenever I talk to someone and they think that, I just talk to a couple people and try to encourage them, but one day I'll do something big. You have no idea how big that one conversation can be. It can change someone's whole day around, which can change their whole life around, which then impacts the way that they treat others. So even if you only talk to one person a day, that can make an entire difference in the entire world. So,
And if you don't believe that, go back and listen to the episode where we read Horton Hears a Who.
So
You'll
true.
understand how one tiny little voice can make a difference.
Yeah.
Because if every single person in the world, or even half the people in the world, are doing one tiny thing a day that is good, that has exponential amount of possibilities. I feel like I'm using that word today.
I didn't. Did you say it more than once?
I think so.
Oh.
But yeah, we wanted to talk to you also about how we actually have invested in ourselves recently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super cool. We kept talking about how, one day, I mean, in the past year and a half, we were like, oh, when we have our community day one day, when we like come up with a cool product or whatever it is that we're going to do one day, like then we'll spend the money on this or that. And then, but we also know that you do sometimes need to, and this is just about investing in yourself knowledge wise, but you do need to sometimes spend the money to get the right outcome that you want. And so we finally decided to invest in a business coach, which I know we've talked a little bit about before, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And once Sierra found the right person, because that was a huge holdup for us, but it needs to be the right person that's giving us actionable steps, and we like her vibe and, whatever. Or his.
We wanted somebody that was both like encouraging. We both felt really confident, so we weren't worried. A lot of coaches out there are just all about mindset, but mindset is kind of our jam. So we weren't so worried about that. We wanted somebody who understood how to market and how to build and grow and how to actually even have the right products to begin with. And I mean, the mindset is somebody there to say, no, you're on the right track.
They needed to have a good mindset. Yeah.
Right. That was part of it too. But the biggest thing for us was somebody who knew what they were doing, who was successful at marketing and could teach us how to be successful at marketing. And yeah, we sure did. And it's crazy because I feel like when we invested in her, even in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I think we're at a place now where we've got these products and it's a good time to invest in someone because maybe she can help us grow these little products. We had little products that we were trying to promote and sell. And then just by taking this coaching course with our business coach, she helped us realize that we had the potential for something even greater. So honestly, like I think we can credit Life and Balance to her because the way she talked about, I don't even know what it was, but like all of the combination of how to market made us realize, wait a second, why are we selling Journey to Presence and Schedule Smart separately when combining them and pouring our hearts and souls into a strong morning routine, like a powerful schedule, and then equipping anyone who wants to do both in all these other ways, like with the accountability and the Facebook group and everything like that, it makes something that one is so powerful and I honestly believe so many women need, and two, something that we're so incredibly passionate about that it just makes us excited to wake up and start working on it because like tingles in our body.
The second that we realized it needed to be one combined thing, Sierra was like, okay, I have some ideas and I need to know what you think about it. And my mind was already going to the same place as hers. And then we just like exploded with all these cool things like immediately. So that's how we know it was also the right investment.
It was. It totally, totally was. So just a side note, like I like we obviously love and adore our coach so much. So and
the whole community that comes with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that we like part of her program is that she has an accountability community on Facebook as well, and other coaches to support you if she can't be there or if you can't get a hold of her right away. So honestly, like anytime you ask a question about your business to the Facebook group, you get multiple coaches that she is specifically trained to be a coach, not to just market, but to be a coach, answering your questions, and as well as like the whole community giving feedback on if they like it, if they'd want your product. And if that is something you're looking for, reach out to us. We'll give you her information because she's incredible. And if you have a business that you want to grow, it's like it's also insanely affordable, like
Yeah.
stupidly
Or
affordable.
if you even just know that you want to do something and you're not even sure what it is yet, she can help you there. Like she'll get you there.
Yeah. She's amazing. So if you want her information, send us a DM or on Instagram at inrawlife.co, or also you could send us an email to podcast@inrawlife.com and we'll send you her details because we want, like we said, we want to support you and help you grow in whatever your passion is. And if you need a business coach and that's part of your passion, this girl, she'll get it done. So, okay, so we talked about like different ways that you can invest in yourself, but I just kind of wanted to dive into them a little bit more so you can understand that it isn't just.
We talked about the why. It's really important and kind of how we've done it and how we help people do it. But yeah, let's talk about at least a couple of the what's and the hows.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So, like Jessica said, financial is obviously one of them, but she said it's not even half of it. And honestly, like we were brainstorming about it last night, I guess, and it's just crazy the different ways you can invest. Like you can invest in your diet, and again, not financially. I mean, yes, you can pay more for organic, but if you just invest in, I'm only going to eat healthy for 30 days and see what it does to your strength, your energy, and your waistline. The same with working out. If you invest time and your energy into working out, it helps give you more energy in the long run because you're stronger, you have endurance, and you can get through things quicker. Investing in your mind by reading, by doing meditation, by like I think your mind is a mix of education and like in enrichment in like with meditation and filling it with strength and what is the word I'm looking for there? Encouragement, empowerment. Like I don't know, like education is like book smart, but then your mind also has the part of like needing to fill.
Well, yeah, like the mindset part of it, not just the knowledge based part, but the how you then think about things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your time. Your time is a huge investment. And I think like it's crazy how much little tiny things can help your investment be that much richer. So like right now, you could be going through your day thinking, okay, at 4:00, I promised that I'd run to church and set up the balloons for the party they're throwing tomorrow or the event they have. So, okay, at 4:00, that's what I'm going to do. But if you haven't properly invested in your time, then you're doing all these things, you're squeezing it in, you're exhausted, your mind's all over the place because you don't have a strong schedule. And come 3:45, you're like, shoot, I gotta get out the door. You're yelling at your kids because they're making you late. You jump in the car, you're 5 minutes late, and then now you're putting up balloons, but you're kind of frustrated about it because yes, you scheduled it, but it didn't feel right because you yourself weren't in the mental space to handle putting up balloons at church or whatever. Fill in the blank of something you think is going to be good, and you feel like you should do it, but you also know it's like the right thing to do. I just feel like those things should be enjoyed, and that it's not. It can be enjoyed if you have the right mindset going into it, and I think you can have the right mindset going into it by having your schedule in a powerful, strong. If you have a strong and powerful schedule,
And then I know we've talked about it before, and we had a whole episode about it, and we cover it in Life in Balance too. But sometimes, there's different seasons of life where setting up balloons at the church is investing your time wisely because you want to be investing in, I don't know, like good deeds that you're doing. You want to be investing in your relationships and serving your community. But sometimes it's not the season for that. And donating money to the church instead, or just being able to show up on Sundays, or maybe that's not even like this season of life and you're investing somewhere else in your life. So it's understanding what to say yes to and what to say no to as well. We're not meant to say yes to everything all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I feel like we cover some courses about saying yes and saying no in Life and Balance.
I know.
So ridiculous. Well, where are we at? That's all I got. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, one of my absolute favorite ways is to invest in my mind by learning. I mean, I've always been a lifelong learner. I always just enjoy learning more and more and more. And I don't think that we lose space in our mind. I think it just expands.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite ways is reading. And like, even my boss at my day job, he talks about personal development and reading all the time or listening. And I think it's a huge thing that people can do. You're listening to so many different perspectives and opinions, and it helps you form your own and like grow your mindset. It can grow your expertise in a subject, learning to grow yourself, and then also learning to be able to talk to others about it and helping them with their growth is huge. And I think it doesn't have to cost money. Like if you don't want to buy books, or you don't have the money to buy books, there's libraries. Libraries are free. Libraries now also often use some form of app where you can listen to audiobooks for free, at least 5 or 10 or more a month. And that's what I do. I mean, I'm constantly listening to and reading books so that I can grow my mind, so that I can help myself, or listening to TED Talks on YouTube or whatever, because I get to learn about something new and then I get to talk about it, and it's exciting, and I better myself every single time.
Yeah.
And that's investing in myself. Like, I make sure that I have the time for that in every single day, so that, because I know how much it impacts my life.
Yep. I agree. I also, I just recently learned about the value of shutting your brain down at times. So I was doing some research, because part of Life and Balance too is that we encourage you to take Sundays off from work and sorry, from work, and like if you can unplug in total, then to totally do it, and we help encourage you and equip you with the ways to unplug. But I wanted to know, I know that it's valuable, but I wanted to like see the science behind it and everything. And it was talking about how like when you unplug from work, so like, again, this is investing in your time. You are dedicating a day to being with yourself, being free from your job and from your work. For one, if you're a creative, it helps you become more creative. And I mean, there's lots, like there's so many reasons. But the second reason that I found to be so interesting is the ability to brainstorm. So like how you said you schedule time in your day to listen to things that encourage you and help develop ideas. In the same way, if you also schedule that time of peace and silence, like even, just in the shower. So, because what it made me think of is I often listen to those inspirational things or books on tape or whatever in the shower, but I'm now like, I'm trying to make it I am making it a priority on Sundays, at least, to not listen to anything in the shower, to just be in the shower, because that downtime, or like a walk. I mean, there's so many times I take all of Sunday off. So honestly, like this happens at different points, but at least in the shower alone, think about you've got nothing to do but take a shower. Your mind is going through all these different things. And that's when your mind can rest. That's when it comes up with the epiphanies. Like that's like science shows that epiphanies come when your mind is in rest more often than they come when it's in work. So it's, again, investing your time wisely. Invest your time to grow in certain parts of your week and to rest in other parts of your week. And that is how you balance it all. I'm just so passionate about this.
Yeah. We did it.
Right?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said, I think we did it. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. All right. Well, in that case, roll that beautiful bean footage. That's what,
What?
you remember that commercial? Roll the beautiful bean footage. No?
No. Bean?
Yes, it's for Bush's Baked Beans. And the guy, the bald guy with his dog, and they're like talking about whatever, about how beans are so great or whatever. And at the very end, the dog will say, roll that beautiful bean footage. And then it like
I don't
shows you
remember
the
that.
baked bean.
I remember the guy and his dog.
I'll find the commercial. Send it to you.
Fun fact. Bush's, I think it's Bush's baked beans are made like just outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, because I drove past the plant. I was like,
there
whoa.
you go. That makes sense to me. Anyway, well, thank you. In real life, roll the cue the credit music. The closing, whatever we called it, not the bean footage. Thank you for joining us today. We are so glad that you are investing in yourself by listening to this podcast. We're not offended if we're not the only podcast you listen to. We're actually encouraged because it means that you are hearing different opinions and different perspectives and taking from that to build your own opinion and your own strength to do great things in the world. So thank you for doing that. If you would like your opinion to be heard on this podcast, you can do that. You can send us a clip of what strength means to you or what the word strong means. So find on your phone, you have a recording device, just hit record and say strength means or being strong means, and then send that recording to podcast@inrawlife.com and we could feature you at the beginning of the show. Dog's going crazy. Is that everything for that part?
Send that to.
I said that. I
Okay.
said that part.
Good. And if you want to help others invest in themselves, you can share us. You can share this episode and or any other episode of ours on, you can share it through Spotify and Apple iTunes at least. There's like a little share button. You can share it to text messages, email, Facebook feed, Instagram feed, and stories where they can just easily click it and listen. That would help our podcast to grow. You can also help us grow by investing your time into rating, reviewing, and subscribing to the podcast. That helps other people find us and helps the podcast gods to know that we are worth listening to. Until next week. Oh, wait. You can also follow us on inrawlife.co at Instagram. Blah.
Nope.
You can also follow us on Instagram at inrawlife.co, where you'll get more encouragement and community and figuring out more ways to invest in yourself and some affirmations that tell you, hell yes, you can do it. And you can share us to your friends, and we'll share you on our stories that you've shared our podcast episodes.
And if you want to check out Life in Balance, there is a link in the show notes. So go to the show notes and click on that. Or you can go to inrawlife.com and shop around and you'll find it there too.
Until next week, we hope that you choose at least one part of your life to invest in right now. We hope that you check out inrawlife.co or .com so that you can find out even more about life in balance and see if it's a great fit for you. And if you are wondering what the heck to invest in, make sure that you're investing in yourself first, because like Warren Buffett said, there's only one you and one life, and you get to choose. Bye.
Bye. Should we send this to Kim? Because if so, hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
You can cut my bye. My bye doesn't make it. I just encourage Jessica's bye. Okay, I'm stopping.
Bye, YouTube. We love you.